here we go.
Down with deportation, up with education, 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 down with deportation.
Gross. Who are these people? Kamala trying to be cool. I'm sorry. I won't subject you guys to that anymore. I should have issued a trigger warning. I'm sorry. What's going on tonight, my friends? Welcome to the live show. We got stuff to talk about tonight. Good news for those of us who are here to save America. Get this place back on track. So we're going to go through it. But first, Donna, numero uno tonight. Well done. Hobbs in the second place, and Frank Czar in the house. Dave Munn says, all you people hit the like button. Please do. Thank you much. Susan Michaels, Troy, man, Chad C, Toe Cramp, Kevin, Mark R, what is up? Oscar in the Hizzy, Thomas Dubois, how you feeling, friends? Volkovich, BM Pro, Adventurous Shogun, Frankie S. Cox, Seth Green, Fake Polls. Oh, even the fake polls can't keep them down anymore. You're going to see that tonight. Hero at Large, what's up? John Croissant, CJ Yukon. All right. Jack Hamilton. During Gutfeld, sorry, I rang the bell. You can either watch me on replay or Gutfeld, but you can't watch both. I'm sorry. That's how it goes. Yoker, Candace Morrison, Big Beat. But I'll tell you what, Gutfeld won't answer your questions live. Just saying. Connie Liv, Doug Peterson. Good to see you guys. Criteau. Hope things heat up again. I can get excited, start talking GTI. I hope stuff happens. I really do. To poor Kamala. Sorry, AC. Didn't mean to do that to you. Jack Hamilton's watching Elaine. The little kicks? The little kicks are kind of fancy. I don't mind them. Yes, I used it. Queefer, this is back in 2018. Old liberal senator, most liberal senator in Congress, by the way, rated. Kamala Harris chanting no deportation. You think she should have been the border czar? Let me tell you how to cook some Indian food, because that's what I do. Anyways, Ryan Edberg, what's up, man? You haven't missed much. He has Vivek, that's true. Florida Panhandle in the house. Joel Dawes, Jesus is king. Amen, brother. Tom says, 4.5 hours out of chemo, round 4, feeling a little sick. Sorry, brother. We're praying for you. God just bless his stomach and pray he doesn't get crushed there. Check this out real quick, by the way. As you know, we had to listen to Kamal. Now let's listen to the man himself crushing it per usual.
Based on the fact that this woman is not capable. She was on Oprah and she couldn't answer the most basic question. We've gone through 4 years of that. We're not going to go through another 4 years of that. She couldn't answer any questions that were, nobody knew what she was even talking about, and she didn't know what she was talking about. We had 4 years of that. Our country has gone to hell. Inflation, crime, look at the crime numbers. It's based on the
But Donald. Okay, I can't do it. Can't do it anymore. Yeah. There's no way this woman's going to be our president. I'm just telling you right now. And the good news is she's absolutely destroying her own campaign. And I'm going to show you guys because she just did a big no-no tonight. Something that even had a couple Dems go, what? We can't be supporting you no more if this is what you're going to do. And that is that Miss Harris came out and said, She backs eliminating the filibuster to codify Roe v. Wade. So this woman is saying, she came out today, and this is one of the worst things you could have done in your campaign. So dumb. But they're desperate right now. They're making desperate moves. Because if you guys have been watching this show, which most of you have, you guys get it. You understand. You don't listen to the media anymore. You see through it. We see through it. We know how this works now. And when you see through it, you see the panic. It's not all joy anymore. They're collapsing. And so they tried to hit a curveball out today and see if it's stuck. And instead, it's going to blow up in their face. Eliminating the filibuster just for abortion. Nothing else. Just abortion is worth ruining decades of precedent with the filibuster. Now, listen, I'm not even the biggest fan of the filibuster. You know, it's not constitutional. It's not in our original way of doing things for the Senate. It's just not. It's a Senate rule. And that's why they can undo it at any time. But they've kept it for all this time. And who knows? Who knows if it's been wise or not? But regardless, it's now a time-honored tradition. And you don't talk about getting rid of it. Especially not for just abortion. And this is something that is freaking out their side. Check this out. Joe Manchin has now broken with her. He will not endorse Kamala Harris right now. Joe Manchin is probably the only true moderate Democrat left in the Senate. He's retiring. We're about to replace him with a Republican seat. He has to be moderate. He's been in West Virginia for all these years. And he has just withdrawn an endorsement. Every single middle Democrat still hanging on to the insanity that's become the Democratic Party is going to see this and say, snap. What are we going to do now? This is no bueno. And you know who also did it? Sinema. Kirsten Sinema backed out, said, I can't. If she's going to do this, we're not going to endorse her. This is blowing up in her face, just like everything else they've been doing. It's going really, really bad for Kamala Harris right now. And I'm telling you, between now and the election, it's not going to get better. It really isn't. Cackle Queen, says Frank Sarah. McLovin is here. What's up, man? Mantan, technology. Good to see you guys. Ever Trumper. Randy. Locksfield, Randy Ruth's son. Orrin Ruth, arrested on child porn. I saw that's terrible. Yeah, you thought about my live stream there? Yeah, I know. Avid's calling out GameStop? That's interesting. What's up, Vince? Didn't think Biden was going to be our president until I saw, you know, it's different though, because Biden actually had a record of winning political campaigns. He'd been a senator for who knows how long, 40 some years. He was vice president with Obama. Biden had done some stuff. Kamala's never won anything. She's been given everything. And there's a difference. There's a difference between the winners. Even the Democrats have winners. Obama's a winner, like him or not. He's a winner. Okay. And then there's losers. Bill Clinton was a winner. Hillary Clinton is a loser. She can't win the big one. Beto O'Rourke, loser. Stacey Abrams, loser. Once you get the loser, Al Gore, loser. When you're a loser, you don't win the big one. Kamala Harris is not a winner. She's a loser. And so this is just how it works for some people. I've seen enough in life. A loser can become a winner, but only when they stop being the loser they are. Kamala has not stopped being the loser. She's embraced her loserdom. And so she will lose. I'm just telling you right now. Randy, loser Joe Manchin, now not going to endorse Kamala because of eliminate. Exactly. Frank says she has no conviction on policy. She agrees with whatever's in front of her, whatever the way wind blows. Exactly. Haas says, so saying I'm your huckleberry would be like saying I'll carry you to your grave. Saying your huckleberry will be equivalent to saying I'm your... Listen, okay, we settled this debate last night, and then I unsettled it. This is how we did it, okay? Just for once and for all. It sounded like I'm your huckleberry when we went back to Tombstone and watched a clip of what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. This is very sad for me. Very sad for me. The guy was freaking Batman. I love this man. Oh, man. Iceman. Val Kilmer. I did it before you guys reminded me. Okay. Val Kilmer in Tombstone. It sounds like he said Huckleberry because you guys got in my head and we listened to it and it sounded like that. But the script says I'm your Huckleberry. Berry. So it's settled once for all. We did it. We did it, folks. We win. It's over. We figured it out. Anyways. Kamal's blown every opportunity in her life. That is true. Kamal and Diddy in it. Well, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Beto O'Rourke is a loser. I'm calling it right now. Kamala is DEI Beto. It's what it is. She's DEI Beto. She's Beto with the benefit of being a colored woman. So she got a little bit extra, a little couple bumps that Beto never got. Because Beto was a white man. And so white males don't get the DEI bump. So Kamala is DEI Beto. And that's what I'm calling her from now on. Unless I want to call her Cackling Kamala. Okay. Kirsten Sinema today trashes Kamala's support for ending the filibuster. Joe Manchin refuses to endorse Kamala for the same reason. Quinnipiac shows Kamala losing. We're going to get to that. This is a big one. CNN, SSRs gives Trump electoral college landslide. Oh, that's another big one. And we're going to talk about this here in a minute. Infighting continues with political veteran James Carville trashing Kamala's staff during a Zoom call. I cannot wait to get to this one. James Carville just became my favorite Democrat. Check this out. This is so funny. All right. Do you guys know James Carville? He was the architect of the Bill Clinton campaign in '92 and created the famous political phrase, "It's the economy, stupid." James Carville, old shrivel face, Popeye. He kind of looks like Popeye, if you haven't seen him. This dude looks like he's had too many sour. No, we gotta see Carville as he is now. Yeah, he had too many sour candies. And he just you live on those too much. You suck too many lemons and your face does this. That's James Carville. It's the economy, stupid. Anyways, they love him. Democrats think he's the greatest thing ever because he got Bill Clinton 8 years in office and he got a famous catchphrase. But he is freaking out right now because he knows Harris is blowing her chance to win this election. According to a source who was on Harris Walz's campaign training call attended by veteran campaign strategist James Carville, Carville went absolutely ballistic, yelling expletives at two young Democratic staffers, including Olivia Jorejana, who works for the Colin Allred Center. Have you seen this chick? I just, we don't fat shame here, except for when you look like that. I mean, the only way this chick's an influencer is because she, I think she ate his brother. I'm just saying. Anyways, okay, but that chick, she's somehow she went from being like a 21-year-old influencer on TikTok, and then she somehow becomes a Democrat staffer. That's who the Democrats are now hiring these days from that great talent pool of TikTok people, her and Harry Stithone. And she's working for Colin Allred's Senate campaign. The fiery barrage of insults, including dumb fat blip, directed at Juliana, out of touch faggots. I can't even say that word on YouTube. I'll get busted. Began when the young staffers presented Carville with some social media videos they've been working on to appeal to white male voters. You guys got put this together real quick, okay? The Democratic beta male soy boy staffers and Juliana were putting together videos to appeal to white males to try to win their votes. And Carville sees it. And he says, "You have touched fans." This is not supposed to be happening on the Democratic side. They're supposed to be love and tolerance party. And Carville's out there just reading them for the beta males they are. I can't even imagine what these videos were. I mean, got, it's like the Tim Walz ad where he's working on the cards. You guys see that? Don't. You won't be able to keep your lunch in. But it's they don't know what being what manly is. Okay? These people left their testosterone back in 1985. They don't have any. It's gone. They can't even pretend to be men. All their men wear skirts. So they come up with videos for white guys trying to be all tough. And Carville sees and he says, "You faggots." Carville's done. He's like, this is unbelievable. He's just like, I can't anymore. And he's like trying to get them to win. This is so funny. You guys, you probably don't even get it, but I mean, some of you don't. I'm just saying, think about it in your head. Think about exactly what you think. Like these 21-year-olds making these videos, and Carville. I'm sorry. I read this and I was dying. This is unbelievably funny, and this is what's going on in the Democrat campaign. Carville's freaking out because he knows they're blowing it, because these people do not know how to talk to your average Joe. They do not know how to talk to regular people. And Carville does. But Carville's the past. He's celebrated. He's a hero. The old school Democrats love him. But the Kamala campaign isn't hiring Carville. They're getting consultants on him, and he is freaking out because he's seeing like, what the bleep are you guys doing? I just love, it's like, I'm guessing that Carville is not allowed on Facebook anymore. With that language, you can't say it. When it gets better, when a visibly shaken Gallup staffer told Carville he needed to apologize for using the F word, Carville told him to take his camel hat and shove it up his ass. Mr. Carville, sir, we just appreciate if you don't use that F word. That's really insensitive. What the hell are you talking about? Take the camel hat off and shove it up your ass. Oh my God. This is the funniest story of the campaign. I'm sorry. This is the funniest thing ever. The joy is gone. Anyways, I'm sorry. I could do my whole show on this post tonight. I'm having just too much fun. This is just so funny. It's so funny. Alright. Anyways, I guess we'll talk about something serious now. Just can't. Oh, no. Knowing how soyrific these people are. On the Democratic side, these kids that are the Kamala Joy, the Harry Sissones, and Julianas. Oh my God, they were just so offended at James Carville. Anyways, that made my night. So, too funny. Ever Trumper says Kamala is stuck with low talent because her abrasiveness driven off stronger talent. That is very true. It's very true. So funny. What the heck says Hamilton? Carville will be the next to endorse Trump. No, he won't. I saw him on Bill Maher the other night. He's done. He's all in Kamala. He hates Trump so much. And yes, he is married to a Republican. His wife is a famous Republican columnist from the 90s and early 2000s. I can't remember her name right now. But yeah, they're well known as a DC power couple. So I acted out in real time. Yeah, sure. Americans aren't funny, Wolfgang. I'm sorry, Wolfgang, if we're not funny to you. Wolfgang Felix. No, just retard. My dad's name was Wolfgang, actually. Ryan Fournier says, this is how desperate they're getting. They're sending out $50 gift cards to people in Florida right now to try to get them to vote for them. 3 people reached out saying the same things. $50 ain't bad. I mean, just take the gift card and don't vote for her. But that's wild. I mean, it's full on panic. Eliminate the filibuster for abortion. have the two most recent moderate senators that are actually kind of center left full on say, we're done with you. James Carville blows up your staff because they can't talk to people. It's fallen apart. Mary Madeline. Thank you, Dave Smith. That is exactly who it is. Everett Trumper, 2 shows back, I was going to talk about Cenk Uygur, and I didn't talk about something else. I can't remember what I was going to talk about, Everett Trumper. Do you remember what the subject was on Cenk? I forgot. I'm sorry. I cover a lot of stuff, so. And then there's this. This is awesome. Do you guys know who Sage Steele is? Sage Steele got fired from ESPN because she was tired of being, not tired of, she actually didn't want to play their woke games at ESPN. She was willing to actually have real discussions about what's going on and actually like want to do real journalism. And so she comes out today and does this. And I just more proof, guys, they're losing. Check this out.
Hey guys, I'm at the airport in Nashville. I just wanted to share with you because this has happened so many times over the last couple of days. A woman about my age, a black woman, came up and wanted to tell me how scared she is for herself, her family, and our country if Kamala Harris is elected. I've been here in Tennessee, I've been in Mississippi, I've been in Texas, and I've been in Atlanta over the last week. The number of black people who've come up to me and said exactly that is astounding. And their message is, what do they think? We all vote the same and aren't smart enough to think for ourselves, aren't smart enough to bring an ID to vote? You guys, it's so sad, but it's good that there's a groundswell for this. And I just wanted everybody out there, people who look like me and people who don't, to know you are not alone. And you got to do something about that fear. You can't just sit quietly, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, and do not allow them to take you for granted because of the color of your skin. So we got a fight on our hands, and I just hope and pray that you guys get out there and vote to do the right thing. Don't vote on personality or feelings. Vote on policy and what's best for our country. So you're not alone.
You guys see that? She said there's a groundswell of black voters starting to come up to her saying they're done. It's people are waking up left and right. This is, by the way, their biggest fear, because these are the people that they have reliably brought in the minority vote for the last 50 years. When after LBJ passed the Great Society and said, he declared we'll now have the black vote for 100 years. He's almost been proven right. That was 60 years ago. So 60 years ago in 2 years, actually, or 3 years. So pretty close. But they're starting to wake up, and it's beautiful to see. And it's because of brave people like Sage here who have been willing to be out there and say the truth and be brave and be willing to be fired over it. It's really awesome. David says the gay guy was having lunch with mom and the speaker was on. Cenk went crazy on an interview with Pierce. That's right. Being a real gauge of liberal thought. Okay, I'll get back to that thought in a minute. Ever Trumper. Brett says, considering irrational thought, everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. Award me no points. Billy Mazzicoat, I like it. Identity politics is crashing. That's exactly right, Bruce. So, yeah, Ever Trumper, just real quick on Cenk, because I don't remember if I had something else in my mind that night. But Cenk is he's representative of the liberal thought that is full on with the Democratic Party, except for he sees the excesses of the wokeness. And Cenk does not like that stuff, so he'll occasionally call that out. But he was on Piers Morgan the other day, and when it comes to Trump, the one thing they cannot get out of their mind that they just are stuck on, and I know smart people who otherwise are mostly rational, but they're still voting Democrat because they just have full on bought into this fear of January 6th and what happened on January 6th. And they have refused to look at any of the other evidences appointed to them because these people still trust sources like the New York Times over everything else. And so that was one of the things I was going to talk about with Cenk. If the rest comes to me, I'll bring it up later. But speaking of how well things are going, this is huge. This is absolutely massive. So Gallup released a poll today that is scaring all of Washington, D.C. This has got reverberations all over the place. This is a shockwave, literally a political nuclear bomb. They just did a poll 6 weeks before the election that shows, for the first time ever in quarter three of an election year, for the entire time they've been polling since 1992, there are more people identifying as Republican than Democrat. That includes George Bush's 50% win in 2004, his barely won in 2000, Trump's won handily Electoral College, lost a popular vote in 2016. All these Republican wins, Bush had the best in 2004 with because everybody was feeling patriotic after 2001, so 9/11. But it was tied. And look at this right here. You think people aren't waking up? This isn't your typical Republicans they're identifying as either. These are people who are identifying as MAGA Republicans. And so anytime, from now on, you see something that says, oh, we picked the wrong candidate, because I keep seeing this nonsense. You bring this out and you say, hey, moron, the Republicans for the last 40 years haven't had this much support, this many people willing to identify as them because of Trump. That's what's happening here. It is unbelievable. This poll, this Gallup poll, is terrifying them. This just doesn't happen. You do not do this in America, not in modern politics. The Democrats always have the advantage with registration until now. Let's go through this poll a little bit, because this is wild. I wanted to go through just a few things here, guys, because some of this stuff is pretty insane that the Republicans are this far ahead on, and it's just more reason to believe that they can't win this. They can't cheat enough to take it, and even if somehow on election night they declare Kamala president, El Presidente, they will not convince the people. They simply will not be able to. This is nuts. So here's all the years, percent Republican Party, Democratic Party, all the wins, issues most mentioned as important. So you got Republican wins, it's economy and election. Okay, economy, both with the with Obama economy. So it's usually almost the economy. Okay, but let's get down here. Excuse me. Americans' opinions on who can make Americans more prosperous. 50% say the Trump Republicans. It's opposed to 44% Kamala. Gallup doesn't mess around on this stuff, guys. Economic confidence, -28. We haven't been this low since 2008, when it was -72. And that's just because they're better at lying to us this year. Satisfaction with the direction of the U.S., 22%. Lowest since 2008. And before that, 92. All change elections. Incumbents do not win. And right now, Kamal's the incumbent. Incumbents do not win in atmospheres like this. They just do not. Here's the favorable ratings in an election year. Down for both. Okay, the lowest, except for 2016, the Republicans were this far down, and Trump still won. But the Republicans are at 1 percentage point above the Dems. Now, this is a big one. Okay, Americans' preference for government activity to solve the country's problems. Doing too much. So they want the government to do less. So when Kamala Harris is out there touting big government, bigger government, the Americans are saying no. 41% of us, only 41% of us want that. 55% of us do not. Well, there's only one person you vote for if you do not want the government to grow. Republicans, you guys see this though? Republicans are winning all of these. That's divided government thing. So that's, people always prefer divided government, which is actually, I'm sorry. This is the first time I didn't look at this. Americans' preference for one party divide. Wow. Okay, I didn't even look at this one. You guys see, it's almost always they want no difference, okay? And this time, same party by 40%. That means they want everybody to get in and get stuff done. Wow, that's impressive. So the point is that Republicans are ahead in every. It was 9 out of 10 is what I read on a scorecard that the Gallup poll showed right here, is that Americans prefer Republicans or believe Republicans. And we're not talking old school Republicans. Remember, when people say Republicans now, they mean MAGA. They mean MAGA. This is not country club Republicans. This is not warmonger Republicans. Republican Party is MAGA now. So just remember that when you hear this, because Republicans still we all have a bad taste in our mouth from Republican. But this is changing everything. People are actually, the majority of Americans are now joining in and saying MAGA is the way to go. It's absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Jack Hamilton says the score is 184. What score? What are we talking about? Randy says, when Trump wins, I want a new January 6th committee to document the truth. That would be awesome. Hero at Large says, what should be more frightening to Dems? How many Republicans have switched to independents? Yeah. And the independents that are, Trump is winning independents handily right now. Patrice says, Trump gave a speech today. He doesn't talk as if we're headed for a crash or disruptive times. Trump never does. Unless he's not going to power. And he knows how to do that. He does it on purpose. Trump speaks positive all the time. For one thing, Trump believes. He literally has an innate belief. He was trained by, I can't remember the guy's name, when he was younger, when he was a teenager in his 20s. But there was a pastor who Trump really loved. And the guy really believed that you speak into existence what you speak. So Trump believes in speaking positive. He believes in making outrageous claims because he believes that if he does that and keeps saying those things, that they'll happen. He really believes he can will stuff into existence. So when Trump is always speaking positive and not saying there's going to be a crash or a hard time, he's doing that because he's not trying to get us to look at the problem we're about to face. He's trying to say, if I get in and we do all this, we're going to go to better days. It's the same as Reagan's Morning in America speech and campaign. That's the idea. You give people hope so they'll fight through it and get to the better time. We all can see some bad's coming in the economy. We all can see it. So he doesn't need to say it. But it's still coming. He doesn't need to say it. Rumdog sent Trump a letter today asking to be more specific on the less plans to demoralize non-thinkers can wake up. Yeah. And at this point, I don't know if that'll help. If there isn't another presidential debate, JD should list Kamal's radical stances during the VP debate. Yeah, VP debate next Tuesday. We're going to watch my boy JD Vance light up Waltz. Waltz doesn't know he's coming into. Old baby Shrek. It's going to be ugly. Ever Trumper, did I hear the FOIA request showed up to 12 calls between Ray Epps and Speaker Pelosi's office? I did not. That's interesting. Get Trump on my show? Dave Munns, if you can figure it out, man, you try it. Yeah, they're pushing 2025 again. Mike Mishler says, what I don't understand is the abortion issue. Neither president can do anything. They have to put a bill on this table to change anything. That's right. And that's why Kamala came out today and said she'd nuke the filibuster in order to do it. That's wild. Oh, thanks, Jack. Okay, well, let's see if we can get those likes up to 100 then. Mike, why didn't they codify Roe versus Wade in Kamala's term already? Well, because they can't get it done. And they never will, because they want it as a wedge issue. The Democrats don't actually want to make Roe v. Wade law. They don't. They like it as a wedge issue. They liked that the Supreme Court is the one who passed it back in 1963 or 1973, 1974, 73, 72. Yeah, I was right in that area. Anyways, they like that the Supreme Court did it because it always left a fight on the hands. And so that's how the way they want it. Check this out. This is fun too. This is from Quinnipiac today. Quinnipiac, super left-wing pollster. Way off the last two elections. Had Biden up 10 in the national, in the popular vote before the election. Biden barely got over 4, and we know why. They way exaggerate Dems. And they did this poll. Does Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris make you more enthusiastic about Harris' candidacy, less enthusiastic, or doesn't make a difference? More people are less enthusiastic over Taylor Swift's endorsement than more. She lost votes because Taylor Swift got involved. That's beautiful. That tells me more and more people are waking up. That's good on America right there. That's really good on America. And then we got voting has started. And we're getting higher turnout in redder counties. So look at this. Everybody's super excited to vote for Trump, and the blue counties are not excited to vote for Kamala. This is massive for us, guys. This is massive. Turnout is going to be everything. So comparison in 2020 so far. This is early voting. Strong Trump counties, 63%, 58% more. Competitive, 36%, just a little bit more. Weak Harris counties, 23%. Strong Harris counties, 26%. You see the enthusiasm gap? 40% in the strong Trump counties versus the weak Harris or the Harris counties. 30 to 40%. That's a massive enthusiasm gap, folks. And that is going to crush her. Again, if they can't get out as many people as they did in 2020 and it's harder to cheat, I'm telling you guys, we might have an early night here on election night. And I'm all for it. And we'll just party the rest of the night. Cromer says, another Senate race to watch. Larry Hogan, ex-governor of Maryland, Republican governor of Blue State, very popular. His father was senator. We'll see. I think he's pretty far behind right now. But, I mean, if we can get another senator, great. Brett Montgomery working on a new TV show for Kamala called Unburdened Island. First one to tell the truth and save tax dollars can get off the island. I love it. I love it. Calls were before the riots. Those calls. On Jan 6? Wow. TK16, don't agree with Carville's politics. Love to have a cocktail with him. Yeah, that would be good. Taylor Swift fan base not voting age. I disagree. You got to remember, Swift now has been around for 18 years. Isn't that wild? Her first album came out in 2006. So I completely disagree with that. Many Swift fans are in their mid-20s and even in their 30s. So she's got when you're around 18 years, that's a long time. Swift got money from Soros. Whitey, glad my PC's working tonight. Yes, it is. It's much better. She's going to the border. Brother, help under campaign. Yeah. American Truth, there's a signs of Jesus' return are evident. And listen, man, I've been hearing that my whole life. I've studied this. I completely disagree with you. But you'd have to take my course. Well, you might have to take my course. We could talk about it another time. But I have a much different perspective on the end times than most people. And I've been studying it for the last 25 years and 10 on I used to believe what you believe. Let me put it that way. No longer. Mac Jones, you're voting for the first time after they taught your 7-year-old about sex and how it's okay for genders and all genders and age. Are you serious, Mac? That's horrible. Voting red for the second time here says Laura Rogers. Welcome. That's awesome, Laura. We're going to do this, guys. We're going to do this. All right. So, excuse me. That poll, Quinnipiac, which was so far left, came out today, and this is crushing to them. Quinnipiac has Trump up 1. I tweeted this out, and I said, if this is true, Trump is actually up anywhere from like 4 to 6, because they always skew these polls, always. And if they could not figure out how to get Trump underwater with Kamala, that means he's way further ahead. They had Biden over 10 in 2020. Kamala's 12 behind Biden in the poll. Implosion's official. They can't win this election. You want cheating? I agree with this. I agree. Quinnipiac, this is a big deal. a big deal that Quinnipiac is not able to get Trump down. It's absolutely massive. 12-point swing, guys, that there's not enough votes. There's not enough. You can't cheat enough, especially in this environment, to overcome this. It's after the debate, everybody was like, Kamala won. And I told you we'd get the news cycle that would be all pro Kamala. Even a lot of you guys, I love you, but you were wrong, said Kamala won. But what happened? Immediately we saw independents switching over to Trump because of the debate. And now, 2 weeks after, it actually happened faster. I thought they'd get 3 or 4 weeks out of it. 2 weeks after the debate, all the stuff starting to come in. Trump obviously won that debate because it is pouring in red right now. It's unbelievable. And it's just getting better by the day. Here we go. Another election model flipped back to Trump today. Moves Michigan and Wisconsin from lean Harris to toss-up. Has the Electoral College here. This is underestimating him by far. But the win odds have him now at 51%. This jail partners. But this is a left-wingers, guys. They just cannot do it. They just can't. Soros bought 220 plus radio stations, got fast-tracked by the FCC. We're living in the end times. Guys, let's stop with the end time stuff. Let's stop it. Okay. 88 Reasons in 88, Y2K, 2012. I've lived through at least 7 apocalypses in my life. I'm a Christian. I do believe Jesus is coming back someday, but I believe the theology surrounding how he's coming back is awful. And I'm not trying to sell a course. I've talked about it plenty of times here on my lives. You guys, I'm not going to argue this with you guys. It's bad theology. And I'm sorry you've been lied to your whole life about this theology that was actually created in the 1800s and nobody before 1500 believed it. And about all this scary one world government stuff. It's not happening. Stop being scared. And I'm sorry, but listen, I used to be there with you, but I went through years and years of study and found out that that's just not what people believed in Jesus's day. And so I no longer believe it now. What percentage of my paycheck would I agree to being deducted to continue funding Ukraine? 0%, Winged Wolf. In fact, less even. I'd say they should pay us the money they gave to Ukraine. Ukraine is not a thing. Mike Mishler, PDB on YouTube, said Taylor Swift's post for Kamala was the worst conversion rate in the history of advertising due to the number of followers versus how many visited the site versus the number of people that signed up on the website to vote. They calculate 1,200 signed up due to that post. Wow. That's it. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. Please God protect Trump. Amen. No, I'm not telling you don't read the Bible. The Bible's real. It's just people don't understand Revelation. They do not understand Revelation. It's very sad, actually. Revelation is about the end of the old covenant and Jesus ushering in the new covenant life, and it was ended up, most of it was fulfilled in the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70. That's just how it is. So, Garrett, I disagree with you. I think Trump wasn't a Christian, but I do believe he's become one. I really do. I think he's had some crazy experiences that made him seek God. Terry Hagan, GTI update. Favorite GTI characters terminated from their roles. I'll have to look into that. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going. This is wild. This is a pretty wild post right here. The Diddy indictment says he was engaged in criminal enterprise from 2008 until now. By the way, there's no way it's only 2008, but interesting. Many of the crimes occurred in California. Who was the district attorney in California from 2010 until 2016? Kamala Harris. In 2016, Cassie was brutally beaten on camera in a hotel in California. What did Kamala Harris know about the Combs criminal enterprise? That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one, my friends. So, there's not much else to say there, but it's very true. She was AG 6 years there, and that's when Diddy's doing all this stuff. By the way, obviously it's not just Kamala, because the insanity going on in California and Hollywood, the music industry, politics, you name it. It's the darkest place in America right now. It has been for a while, and all this is going on. So it's not just Kamala; she was just one of them. But it's crazy stuff. Apocalypse. Donna says, "I take the course, Papa Powell. Your girlfriend who's bedbound and Christian is very interesting. Having awakening, give Revelation A+. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. Do I read the gospel? Bro, I've been reading the Bible for, let's see, I turned 41 this year. I've been deep in the Bible for 29 years. 29 years. I have studied the Bible more than 99% of people. I've taught the Bible. I was a pastor for 10 years. I love the Bible. It's the greatest book ever written, and it is the truth. But the problem is most people do not understand it. That's the problem. They do not understand within context. They take it from modern perspective and they insert that modern perspective into the old context, which still is extremely valuable for us and has great truth in it. But 99% of those prophecies have nothing to do with our time. That's just how it is. They were all fulfilled. And so that's where we're at. Roblox, I relieve your anxiety. You're welcome, Roblox. Listen, the world keeps getting better. It's been getting better for the last 2,000 years. It's going to continue getting better until it gets to the point where we can't progress things any further, and then Jesus got to come back and finish the job. That's the quick of it. All right. One more on Trump, and then I got a couple posts that I want to go over about the stock market coming up, because I think we're starting to see real signs of a foundation breaking. So, Ohio bakery known for accurately predicting presidential election results with its candidate-themed cookies revealed Trump is winning by a lot, outselling Kamala Harris by 16 points. They're known for accurately predicting presidential election results. Isn't that awesome? It's candidate cookies, and Trump is ahead 16 points. How wild is that? Even the cookie buyers know Trump's the only one who can solve the problems we're facing. Unreal. You're hearing me with a closed mind, Ariana. How is it a closed mind to just have an opinion on something that I've researched extensively? I don't know how that's a closed mind. The stuff on the end times is stuff that I have studied for 25 years and been on both sides of it, and I've traveled and researched and found my way over to the other side. I don't know how, that's not a closed mind to have an opinion. I'm sorry. Have I ever met Phil Robinson? No, but I'd like to. Robertson? Rapture is it is a fiction. Yeah, rapture is a fiction. It's nowhere in the Bible. There's one verse in Thessalonians that talks about being caught up in the sky, but it's prophetic language. It does not mean there's a rapture. Dave Munns went on Donald Trump's website, sent him a message trying to get him to reach out and get him on my show. There's no way. Guilty. I don't pick and choose Bible verses. I read the whole Bible. That's the difference. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's not hard to tell when you research the history alongside it. But anyways, it's fine. We can disagree and we can still go along. We can still believe Jesus is coming back and we love each other as Christians. So that's what we can do. But listen, I just that theology that teaches us to be scared and root for the world to get worse for Jesus to come back, I can no longer be a part of that theology. That's I've only seen it take Christians out and have Christians not be influential in their areas because they're scared, or they actually deep down want things to get worse so God can come back. And so they haven't been impactful. And I think it's ruined, honestly, since Late Great Planet Earth came out. Hal Lindsey, by the way, which is what most people's end times theology is based upon, is Hal Lindsey's book, not actually the Bible. It's his interpretation of the Bible. And that and Darby's dispensationalism for the 1800s. That is what most people's end time theology is based on in America. It's very sad, but true. And it's very fearful, and I believe the devil's used it to take Christians out of being influential because we've all just been waiting for the end times. So they're scared. I don't believe in fear. The Bible says there's no fear in love, so we should not have fear. Most Christians I know believe that end time stuff, get very scared when they talk about it. That's just not God. God's not in fear. So anyways, that's That's what we're going to talk about. There's no end time tribulation, Papa. That comes from the idea. By the way, Revelation 3:10 is not talking about an end time revelation. It's talking to the churches that existed there. That's dispensationalism, my friend, you're talking about, which puts that into the future. It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with the Great Tribulation. The idea of the Great Tribulation comes from a misreading of Daniel, which takes the last week out of 49 weeks, okay, that led up to Jesus perfectly. It takes the last week and puts it 2,000, 3,000 years in the future, which doesn't even make sense. So anyways, I just telling you, this stuff is not... Oh, we can fear God. You should fear God. But that's not what end times people fear. They fear the tribulation. They fear the pain that's going to come, the wars that are going to come. They fear Democrats taking over, all the scary stuff. They don't fear. They're fearing man in that. So how do you order 2,953 Trump cookies? I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. That's right, Don. I agree with you. Ever-Trumper, symbols are taken literally. What's literal is taken symbolically. What's local is made too broad. What's universal is made too limiting. Many ways to screw up doctrine. We're imperfect. It's very true, Ever-Trumper. The problem is the Bible is very specific and tells us exactly what books are prophetic and which books are literal. It's very easy to read if you study it. Revelation is not a literal book. It's a prophetic book. The reason people get confused is the only prophetic book in the New Testament. But it mirrors Ezekiel almost perfectly. Ezekiel was written before the fall of Jerusalem in 586 BC and was a call to them to wake up. Jerusalem's going to be destroyed. And then Revelation is mirroring Ezekiel almost perfectly because it's John warning everybody that Jerusalem's about to be destroyed. And the old covenant system run by the Jews, who were persecuting the Christians more than the Romans, if you actually read your history, they were persecuting the Christians the most. And God had to destroy Jerusalem and the temple and the record so that there would be no more Levitical carrying forward to keep the old covenant alive. He completely destroyed it, which is why Jesus said in Matthew 24, all of this will happen in your generation. A Jewish generation was 40 years. Jesus died in 30 AD. 70 AD is when Jerusalem was destroyed, which is exactly 40 years from when Jesus said all this will come on this generation. I'm sorry, this stuff is... It's really simple when you actually read it, but I just, First Thessalonians is just, it's nothing about the tribulation, and it's nothing about a rapture either. It's basically when Jesus is coming back at the final time, his final time coming back, we'll temporarily meet him in the sky and come back down to earth with him. That's what it's about. So, 150 years ago is not how far back you need to go to understand what most people believed about the end times. You have to go back before Calvin. Once Calvin came in, it started introducing all kinds of crazy doctrines, which are very untrue. Although most of Calvin's stuff, I do believe is a good believer, but he just introduced some crazy ideas. He started this whole end times belief system that we currently live in now. He started the beginning of it, the foundation of it, but didn't go into it too much. Most of it came into Darby in the 1800s, who created dispensationalism, which then was put into the Scofield Study Bible, which was the first study Bible ever released in the West. And so those study notes from Darby were what everybody started reading when they read Revelation. All of a sudden, that became very prevalent to believe in this dispensationalist futurism of Revelation. And then in 1970s, when Hal Lindsey came out with The Late Great Planet Earth and it sold 1 billion copies, everybody was like, oh, it's so scary. The end times are so scary. And that's where we're at. And so now what I really believe is coming, because people got sick of every single apocalypse not really happening, and all this stuff that was supposed to be the end times not happening for the last 40 years, they're starting to actually rethink and study their Bibles and study context from the Bible and study history. And when you do all those three together, it's very clear Hal Lindsey was very wrong. John Darby's very wrong. Jesus is still coming back, but it's not anything like what people are saying it's going to look like. The Left Behind series, all that, it's all garbage. And it's sad. It's sad because I believe they're good people, but their theology is terrible. So anyways, Carville. What did Carville say? We'll go back to Carville at the end because it's very funny. All right, let's do the Wall Street real quick. During the summer of 2008, the behavioral analysis model, this is BAM's model. This is why he's called BAM Investor up here. His model is very good at this stuff. And he says in 08, summer before the crash, the BAM model was flagging mortgage, bank, and brokerage stocks and warning clients about an imminent severe decline or crash. And he says, we're back at that point again, batten down the hatches. In other words, BAM's model is alerting him to imminent crash. Now, he said it was summer in 08 when that happened. And when did it start crashing? It started crashing September, October. So if it's flashing now, it could be coming end of October, mid-October, November. So anyways, things are getting crazy. And I think the stock market, guys, we might really start seeing stuff fall apart because of this rate cut, which is as I predicted, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm right. Dow Jones here has broken through the 125 resistance trend line. In 1929, it broke through for 1 month before beginning a 90% collapse over the next 3 years. This is a big deal. So the question is, what are they going to do to prop it up? Because they'll probably find ways to maybe kick the can a little further. But the point is everything starting to flash. Warning, Will Robinson, warning that bad times are coming for the stock market. And, you know, we're all expecting it. We've all been ready, but it might finally be starting. So batten up, guys, batten up. 101 likes. That's it. Got 200 people watching. So anyways, guys, I think the stock market, I think the economy, I said all year, I thought it was going to start turning before the election. I said I thought the stock market would probably start crashing before the election. I might be proven wrong on that, but I got 6 weeks. The rate cut came exactly as I predicted back in December, that they'd start in September. And we'll see if everything else lines up. We really will. Mac Attack, you are inserting some major modern theories into that to make it last. Why on earth would Ezekiel 36:24, which Israel was already rebirthed because of Cyrus, didn't need to be like that prophecy was already fulfilled. So you're speaking into it a double fulfillment just based on your own desires for that to happen in Israel and Darby's desires for everything to be based around Israel. Why on earth would Ezekiel write that to his people about something that's going to happen in 2,500 years from him? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make logical sense. And you're inserting that Jesus is telling them a generation will not pass. A generation in the last 2,000 years? How does that even make sense, bro? No offense, but there's no logical sense to that. I know it's what you believe. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you believe that. It's what you've been taught, but it's very poor teaching. And I really, really recommend you go. The Bible itself does not allow for that. The Bible itself tells us that it says if a prophet's words fall flat in the Old Testament, they are to be killed. So why would a prophet prophesy something that's going to be 2,000 years away? It makes no sense at all. And so you have to actually let the Bible interpret things for you, not modern man. And so that's pretty, I'm just telling you, you need to go do your own stuff. I believe, what about the sea scrolls do I not believe, William? You guys are inserting a lot of your beliefs into what you think I believe without having any idea how much I know about the Bible or how much I've studied the Bible. You guys are upset that I've dismantled your argument and I've thrown new ideas at you, and you are completely unwilling to listen and believe that you could be wrong or you were taught wrong. And I understand it. I used to be one of you. But listen to me. The ideas you're spouting do not go within how the Bible teaches us to read itself. I've read every word of Jesus ever, Christ is King. I've studied them extensively. Ask me which one you're talking about. I can break it all down. It's not all up for interpretation, Gus. That's completely wrong. The Bible teaches us how to read it. It does. So listen, guys, you can have fun. I know you're upset. You don't like what I'm saying. I'm a Christian. I believe Jesus is coming back. We can all agree on that. If you want to debate end time stuff, we're not going to get anywhere. We're not. I just spent 3.5 months teaching a class to build up to that point because I had to teach the entire Bible in order to understand the end times parts. And your guys are trying to get me to explain it to you in 8 minutes. It's just not going to happen. I literally spent 3.5 months teaching it. So, Brett Montgomery said, I know you went to Bethel College. Don't think people realize what that is. Last argument I would get into would be unrelated. It's okay. That's fine. I'm not arguing with anybody. It's not up for debate. I can back up every single one of these things. And I've dealt with all these arguments. I've actually, because I used to believe them all. And I had every single one of them dismantled so wholly and so with so much evidence that I no longer can even come close to believing any of that stuff. I've researched it to death, and my own journey with the Lord led me to that. So I believe there's messianic prophecies that Jesus is coming back. I do believe, but I also believe almost every one of Jesus's prophecies was already fulfilled. Other than that, but you have to be more specific than that, Ever-Trumper. That's a very broad term you're using. Which prophecies are you asking me if I believe? Winged Wolf, war looks to escalate in Ukraine and possibility Europe. If I run a pension fund in Europe, are you going to move my money to U.S. or keep it in Europe? Market may not crash as soon as anything. Maybe it won't. I don't know anything about running a pension fund, though, so I can't tell you. I do think the U.S. will handle whatever's coming in the economy much better than every other economy. We are much more suited to handle it, especially if Trump comes back. We are going to build out manufacturing again, and our world depression is coming, our world recession, and I do believe we'll handle it much, much better. No elaboration needed. Well, what about Isaiah 53, Ever-Trumper? You can't just pull a whole book on me. You got to be specific. I mean, a lot of what's in Isaiah 53 was fulfilled with Jesus. Again, it's just too broad. You're asking me to take a whole book and say it. There are certain things that haven't been fulfilled. For one thing, it says that the glory of the Lord will stretch from the ends of the earth to the ends of the earth. Like basically, the entire earth will be covered in the glory of the Lord. I believe that's in Habakkuk, and in Isaiah it says that the spread of his government shall have no end. Well, if the spread of his government has no end, then how can it be hit back by evil? That's a contradiction, and the Bible doesn't contradict itself. So if I have to believe in an end times theology that believes evil has to grow to snuff out Christianity and Jesus has to come save us, I'm actually disbelieving what's in Isaiah about the spread of Jesus' government having no end, because from the time Jesus came on earth and died in AD 30 and was resurrected, the spread of Christianity has been going throughout the earth. And the reason we know this is absolutely 1,000% true, there was about 300 Christians when he died. Today, there's 2.4 billion Christians. We are 1/3 of the earth at this point. The earth has continually gotten better. So the spread of his government is happening. So it can't go backwards. It's impossible. All right, Thomas Dubois, God bless you, man. Austin 3:16. I know it's a chapter, Ever-Trumper. I'm sorry. I said book. You're right. It's a chapter. Israel's rebirth does not fulfill that, Laura. It fulfills the prophet. It does not. Jeremiah 33 was fulfilled when Cyrus sent back Ezra and Nehemiah to rebuild Israel at that time. That's when his prophecy was fulfilled. Jeremiah wasn't prophesying to the people that in 2,000 years you'll get Israel back. He was prophesying to the people that, hey, the Babylonians are about to come and destroy Jerusalem and take us all out of Israel, but don't worry, you're going to get it back. And that generation would know it because, their kids would know it because in 2 generations they were back within 70 years. So I'm just saying, Laura, I'm not saying you're dumb or anything. It's just what you've been taught, but it makes no logical sense, especially when it's already been fulfilled, that he would be prophesying to people 2,000 years from then when he needed to tell his people, look, you're about to go away to Babylon for 70 years, but don't worry, Israel will come back. Sarah, we're not going there. Winged Wolf, U.S. economy is the cleanest, dirty shirt in the hamper. I do agree with that. Anyways, guys, I love you guys. I got to head off. I could do this theological debating stuff all night. This is actually what I'm best at more than anything else, but that's all right. That's not what this is about tonight, but God bless you guys. Thank you for the challenging questions. I enjoyed them, and I'm not a prophet about stock picks. Sorry, Jimmy. I do believe God, I do believe I was led to get into some of them. I don't know what it means, how it'll turn out. Yes, Cyrus was prophesied by name. Exactly, Ever-Trumper. You're 100% right about that. All right, but God bless you guys. Let's pray as we go out. The good news is Trump's winning. I do believe the best is yet to come for America. I really do. God told me in 2016 Trump was going to lead us into a golden age, and that was way before he was elected. That was way before I was even going to vote for him. So I saw Trump get elected the first time, and I believe he's going to get elected the second time as well. So really good things are coming. In my opinion, we're going to win this election. We're going to win it handily. There's going to be a fight to get Trump into office. Absolutely, it's going to be a huge fight, but we're going to do it, and things will get better. And that's just my personal belief on that. But anyways, I really believe good things are coming. So anyways, you guys know how I feel about all that and what we need to do to get there. So let's pray and get out. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for everybody here. God bless everybody here, even the people who disagree with me. God, we're all on our own journey, and they're amazing people. And God, we all have disagreements. We all have different places of where we've learned things, and so we're all on a different journey. And someday in heaven, we'll all be on the same page. But until then, pray we can all focus on what we get along with and what we agree on, especially in this current fight we're in, Lord, politically. And so, God, bless President Trump, protect him. And God, I pray you get us through this big win here we need in November to start getting our country back on track, Lord. Let the will of the people be done. We know what the will of the people is. So we just pray that every attempt to stop it would be foiled in Jesus' name. Bless everybody here. Pray for healing for Thomas, Jenny, Mike, and anybody else who may need it. And we love you, Lord, and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys. Love you all. Have a great night. I will see you all again. Mañana. Take care. Bye-bye.